What's going on, everyone? This is we're looking at the KBO picks for tomorrow morning. Hope you guys all had a great weekend, and let's get right into it. Before we get started, as always, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like on the video and subscribe if you have not already. If you want to join, you can visit the website. Links in the description or on the top of the video. And let's get right into it. So starting off here at pitcher. We have a couple of top-end pitchers today. Drew Ronisky. It's a tough matchup against the KT Wiz. Their offense is pretty scary, especially now that Bai Ho Park is back. You have Rojas in there. They have a lot of good hitters. Below him, you have Flexon. I feel a little bit more comfortable about him facing off against SK. He has looked great. For the most part this year, he struggled a little bit recently, but he's still going like 5-6 innings most of the time. He gives you decent strikeout stuff, and it's just a good matchup against SK. They have a couple of good hitters, but overall their lineup isn't super scary. So Flexon at 8,500, I like that quite a bit. You have Toy a little bit higher than him if you want to go that route. He's facing against the Twins team. I just feel a little bit more comfortable about going with Flexon. He's cheaper, and I think the strikeout upside is a little bit better for him in this matchup. And then I like Brooks quite a bit at 8,400. The Lodi Giants offense isn't super scary. The only hitters that you're really worried about is Lee, the first baseman, Asiop Sun, and Gian, the outfielder. And then now that Dixon Machado can get it going, he's pretty streaky. But overall, I think Brooks has been consistent this entire season. I do not believe he's had any start with under 10 fantasy points, at least not within his last at least not since April, if that happened. He's just pretty consistent, averaging about 18 fantasy points per start. Also good at getting strikeouts, and about thing good that's very solid about him is that he's only given up 8 walks on the year. And as you look at a lot of these pitchers, especially some of the Korean ones, they give up a ton of walks, which just takes away a lot of their upside because they can't go 7-8 innings because they're walking like 4 or 5 guys a game. So looking at the pitching matchups today and looking at the hitters that I want to stack, we'll start it off here with comparing the starting pitchers. We have the ones with the worst ERA. You have Chad Bell facing off against the Samsung Lions. Their offense isn't super scary. They have a couple of good hitters. I think they look decent as getting a couple players from that team. I don't know if I want to stack them as a whole. And then you have a pitcher who's only made once. I think he's made a couple relief appearances. Not sure how long he's going to go, but he's facing off against Kiwoom. They are looking like my favorite stack because this pitcher has only pitched last time out. He pitched, it was a month ago, so I'm not sure if he's been working as a starter. I doubt it. But I would only expect him to go a couple of innings and then give way to the bullpen. So I love the Kiwoom stack. I like the Samsung Lions, a couple one-offs, I would say. And then I do like the Kia Tigers stack a lot. They're facing off against Junwon Seo. If you look at the pitchers who's given up a ton of home runs this year, he's given up on the slate tied for the most with 6 in just 43 innings. And the Kia side, the Kia batters, especially Tucker, has a ton of power. So I'm looking at him a bit. So Kia and Kiwoom are my favorite stacks on the slate, and then a little bit of Samsung. So let's start it off here at first base with a very, very cheap, high upside play, and that's Bai Ho Park. He's only 4,300. It's a nice price on him for sure. The thing about him is that he strikes out a ton, but he has a ton of power. The last couple years, he's hit belted like 40 bombs. Only has 8 home runs this year, only batting 205, but it's a good matchup against a lefty. At least he'll get a couple of bats, hopefully, against this lefty, and then he'll get to face whoever comes out of the bullpen. But a lot of these bullpens are terrible, so it's going to look good for Park, especially at 4,300, with them being my favorite stack. I am definitely looking at Park a bit at a pretty reasonable price point. And then another righty that I like on Kiwoom is Ha-seong Kim. Shortstop, the price tag is down on him, even though he's been playing better. He's really streaky. Last couple of games, he's been on fire with 32 and 20 fantasy points. I love playing him just because he gives you that stolen base upside as well as a ton of power. Only 6 stolen bases on the year, but he has a ton of speed. And if there is an opportunity, he will run a lefty-righty matchup. I think he looks very good. He's not he's not over 6,000 like he was last week, even though it's a very, very good spot and there's some decent value that we have on the slate. Kiwoom is pretty cheap, I would say, for how good they look. So the stacks that I like a lot is Kia for sure, a little bit of Samsung, a little bit of, probably a lot of Kiwoom, and probably those three I like a lot. And then in the outfield, you have if you need a cheap play, you have a $2,000 player that's been playing pretty well on Kiwoom at just 2,000. Hio he's about like 6th or 7th usually, but you're getting a guy that's so far been hitting over 300 in his 45 at bats with power, doesn't strike out a ton, and it's a good spot. Another righty facing off against a lefty, you probably get a couple at bats there. So he looks good for sure. Those three I like quite a bit on Kiwoom, and then the pay up for me is going to be Preston Tucker against this Lodi pitcher that gives up a ton of power. It's a great spot for Tucker. He's had some huge GPP performance, like slate breaking performances. Recently, had a 4-for-4 game, and then earlier last month, he had a couple of just monster games. Also has the ability to hit multiple home runs. So Tucker at 5,700 is definitely my favorite spend up on the slate. So that's the DraftKings picks for tonight, and then I'll touch on Fanduel as well. Okay, over on Fanduel, they have Drew Ronisky at 28 bucks, then followed by Chris Flexon. You have Brooks a little bit cheaper at $25 if you want to go that way. But personally, I like Flexon today quite a bit at $27. FanDuel pricing is pretty nice today. You have, especially if you're like me and want to focus on um, Kia side and the Kiwoom side, and a couple of Samsung Lions I think look fine. But starting off at infielder, I'm not sure if Addison Russell is going to play today. I doubt it, but he's on there $17. But it's not going to take away from some of the better hitters on the team, I would say. Ha-Seong Kim is still going to be hitting right in the heart of the lineup. 15 bucks with the upside that he presents. It's a great spot. Lefty righty, at least for maybe one or two at bats, hopefully two. And I think he can get the job done today. In the outfield, we have Kristin Tucker for sure. I like that a lot. Love Preston Tucker at $17. Facing off against a Lodi pitcher who has given up like 6 home runs already this year. And last time he faced Kia, he got absolutely lit up. And then we have a nice cheap play on Kia, which is really, really nice. On DraftKings, this guy is like $5,000, but on FanDuel, he's only $10. That looks great. Tai Woo Choi at just $10. Him and Tucker make for a nice 1-2 stack. He also has plenty of power, plenty of upside at only $10. So he's looking like one of my favorite cheap plays to play in the outfield. So that's the FanDuel breakdown as well as the DraftKings picks. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, and good luck tonight.